Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new, and welcome to the first video of the year. That is absolutely crazy to say, but new year, new bookish videos, I guess. I feel like the only right way to start the new year and the new bookish content was to do a TBR video where you're going to be picking my reads for the month of January. I've actually been anticipating this video for a few days now because I feel like my TBR at the moment is looking so good. There are so many books I want to read in the new year and I am just itching to pick them up. So very excited about this TBR. And to change things up a little bit, I said in my last TBR video whether we should try some new kind of ways to pick our TBR. I do have some exciting ones planned for the future, but for today we are going to be letting a TBR jar pick our reads for the month. So I yesterday wrote out a lot of prompts. It doesn't look like very many at all, but I swear there are a lot in there. And we're going to be picking, I think, 5 to 6 of these, and they are going to help us form our TBR for the month. Also, I just thought I'd ask at the beginning of the video, please let me know any content you want to see in the new year, any kind of different content, reading vlogs, sit down videos, more just like lifestyle videos. Please let me know what you want to see from me. I would love to incorporate it into my content plan. Currently planning for the first few months of the year, so perfect timing. Also, last thing I promise, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who watched a Bookmas this year. I feel like it was such a big task, but it was so incredible. I love talking with you guys all the time. But without me rambling anymore, I think it is time to pick our first read for the month of January. So let's open this. That was very satisfying. All right, I haven't done a TBR jar in the longest time. My fingers can like barely fit in here, but anyway. All right, let's pick our first prompt. Okay, this one is calling to me. Ooh, a 5-star prediction. This definitely could be interesting. I think there are a few options for this. Let me grab them. Okay, I think we have 3 options for this prompt. So one is standing out to me more than the others, but like I'll work you through my thoughts. Okay, number 1 is Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab. Now, I don't know if this book is going to be a 5-star for me, but a lot of V. Schwab books that I've read have been a 5-star for me, and this is a continuation from the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and I think 2 of those books, or at least 1 of those books, was a 5-star for me, and this is the first in a new series. I'm obviously not going to read the back because it spoils a lot from the original trilogy, but yes, this is a continuation, so don't read this without reading A Darker Shade of Magic first, which if you haven't read, highly recommend. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a 5-star, but I do think it would be a very high rating because yeah, V. Schwab is just quickly becoming a favorite author of mine, and I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least like a 4.5 stars. So that is a good option, I think. I don't know if it's going to be a 5-star though. I'm not sold on that one. The other option is Jade City by Fonda Lee. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a 5-star, but I do think it's going to be a really high rating. I am super picky with my ratings. I do not give 5 stars easily. So it is hard for me to predict what book is going to be a 5-star. Like, it really takes a hell of a book to be a 5-star. I feel like I've talked a lot about Jade City recently, but this is a start to a trilogy that I would love to read in the new year. And we are basically set in the city of Janloon. Jade is like a stone that enhances a warrior's natural strength and speed, and it is controlled by 2 families equal in their power and ruthlessness. But when a modern drug emerges that allows anyone, even foreigners, to wield jade, simmering tension between the 2 clans erupt in open war. So it does sound really good. I do think this is going to be a very highly rated series again, but is it going to be a 5 stars? I don't know. The last one that I think is going to be a 5 stars this year. I feel like this is a slam dunk, if I'm going to be honest. And that is none other than Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archive. You'll see in my wrap up that I read Edge Dancer last month, so I was very happy about that, which is like the little novella that you read in between Words of Radiance and Oathbringer. So I feel like I'm well equipped to go into Oathbringer now. But this is the longest book yet in the Stormlight Archive. So if we choose this right off the bat, like, it's 1,380 pages. If we choose this right off the bat, I definitely think I will be choosing only 5 books for the TBR, which is totally fine, but just like because of how big this book is. Words of Radiance absolutely blew me away, and so many people say that Words of Radiance and Oathbringer are like the best in the series of the Stormlight Archive, which, by the way, in case you don't know what the Stormlight Archive is, Brandon Sanderson's like epic high fantasy series. We are set in a time of war, essentially, and following 3 different perspectives. Kaladin, who is a soldier turned slave, Dalinar, who is a royal, he is like the brother of the past king, and then Shallan, who is an aspiring academic, essentially. Absolutely masterful world. If I'm gonna pick out of these, like, what I think is gonna be, oh my god, there you go, a 5-star prediction, I think it's gonna be Oathbringer. So maybe we should put that as the first book for the 2026 TBR, or at least January TBR. Okay, you know what, let's do it. Oathbringer, you are the first book in the TBR. I already know this is gonna be a crazy TBR this month. All right, the next prompt is Which one do I go for? Do I go for the top one? This prompt is, what is it? On your 26 books for 2026 list. I like this prompt. This is a great one. Okay, let me grab my list. I was updating my journal yesterday, so it's all done. Okay, Jade City was on my 2026 books. I do have that video up if you want to look at all my TBRs and like very ambitious books for the year. Oathbringer was also on that. I definitely want to do a physical book, I think. Oh, do I though? We could just choose Jade City. The other options I had that would be super easy is like Vicious, because that's on Kindle Unlimited by V. Schwab. I do really want to get into that. If we wanted a small book, we could do Strange Pictures. I'll go grab that one in a second. I think those are the main ones though that I would go for. Probably Vicious or Strange Pictures or Jade City. So let's decide. I'm actually very inclined to pick up Strange Pictures. So this is it. It is a very little book, which is just nice. I'm trying to expand my reading this year. I'm trying to delve into genres I don't usually delve into because I think that's important. This is a very, very different book to what I usually read. It's a kind of like a book that you can solve as the reader. Like you solve it along the way. I think apparently it's great. I've heard very good things, but it says a series of drawings made by a young woman before her death, a child's disturbing picture of his home, a desperate sketch made by a murder victim in his final moments. Each contains a chilling warning. Each reveals a terrible secret hidden in plain sight. So as you go along, there are drawings, there's lots of little like animations and stuff throughout the book, and I believe you can like try and solve it as you go. I don't know, I'm really not sure. I also haven't read very many Japanese authors before. I feel like it's a genre in itself. My partner reads a lot of these books, which is why we have this book on our bookshelf. Maybe I should go with this one to mix it up a little bit. You know what, let's do that, because I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of fantasy on this TBR, so to break it up a bit, we can put Strange Pictures. The third prompt. Oh my god, this is really hard. I don't know how people do this all the time. Okay. I believe that is a new release. That's a fun one, kind of. Do I have a new release? Well, the arcs count? I guess they're new releases. They are new releases, right? Yeah. We're gonna count arcs as new releases, okay? Because technically some, they're not released, but like they're going to be released very soon. So, oh, this one is literally releasing in January. Perfect. I got this one kind of recently, and it is We Who Have No Gods by Liza Anderson. The arc copy is absolutely beautiful. I don't even know what this is about a lot. I read it very briefly when I got it. So it says, Vic Wood's ordinary life crumbles when her younger brother is accepted into the Archeron Order, a secret society of witches tasked with keeping the world of the dead at bay. While Henry inherited their absent mother's magical abilities, Vic did not. So she is stunned when the Order's mysterious leader invites her to join the others at the Avalon Castle to prove his controversial hypothesis that magic can be taught. It sounds so much fun. I've never read anything by Liza Anderson. I haven't heard of her before actually. So I love exploring new authors, getting to know new authors. As I said, this comes out in January of 2026. I don't think there is an exact date in this. I love the sound of that. Blurb goes on, there was just a lot, so I didn't read it all. And Enemies to Lovers, I believe. So that could be really fun. I'd love to get to this anyway. The other one I'm so excited about. This one comes out in February of 2026. I think it says the 17th of February. I am super excited about this one because I have a little bias here. So this is Vow of Eternal Night by Lily Crozier. So Lily is actually a publisher at Penguin. I think she has a big role in the marketing. So she often sends me books. For the past 2 years, she will handwrite me notes every time she sends me a book from them and say, I read this recently, I loved it, I think you'll absolutely love it. So she often sends me arcs like this actually. But she wrote this book. She wrote a book for the first time, and I believe this is a vampire romance, and you guys know I love a vampire romance. Okay. A gothic romantasy, Beauty and the Beast retelling about a vampire prince and the captive bride who will do anything to break his curse. Clarice has always known that monsters are real, and the worst of them is Prince Raleigh of Rostenburg. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right. For years, the prince has treated his people as livestock to state his thirst for blood. But when he decides it's time to marry, Clara inadvertently finds herself at the center of his attention. Abducted and forced into a betrothal against her will, Clara will do anything to escape her fate. And so she is given an ultimatum. Lift Rayleigh's vampiric curse before the end of the year or become his bride for eternity. Guys, I fear there is no competition. This sounds so good. This sounds so much good. I haven't read a gothic romantasy in a long time as well, and I have been so excited to pick this one up. She also signed it and put my name in it, which is really, really sweet. So I think I have to. I have been really, really wanting to pick this one up, and technically it's new release, right? So I think we're gonna have to go with Vow of Eternal Night. I do want to try and get the other one though at some point, because that sounds really good as well. All right, this is our fourth prompt. Let's see what we get. We're gonna go try and get something at the bottom. What's this? This is really fun. I forgot how much fun TBR jars are. What does it say? Oh, it's upside down. A book published at least 5 years ago. This is like the opposite of what we just got. That's fun. Well, the Greenbone Saga was definitely published over 5 years ago. But let me scout out our options. I don't actually have that many crazy options. I think I have two though. So the Greenbone Saga, of course, so Jade City. Let's see what year. I think it was like 2013 or something. Okay, 2017 actually, not 2013, but still definitely 5 years ago. So obviously a great one. The other one is The Diviners, which I feel like I've been talking about this book a lot recently, but I'm super excited about this one. It's set in 1920s in New York, and it has a sense of mystery to it. We're following Evie. When was this one published? First published in Australia in 2012. So definitely over 5 years ago. But I think I want to go with the Greenbone Saga. I do really want to get to this one, but I just have been itching to read this one. So every time I bring it up, you guys say that I'm going to love it. So I'm putting a lot of trust in you. This will be our last prompt. Unless we get something really small, but we do have some big books. I mean, I don't know, one of them's really big, the other ones are a little bit smaller. Okay, oh, that's two. What do we have? An arc, so an advanced reader's edition, what I was basically holding up before. We do have that other one I just talked about, but I think we have quite a few arcs on my TBR at the moment. I always try and prioritize my arcs, just because obviously I'm so grateful to have them sent to me, so I try and read them early. These two both haven't come out. One of these this arrived in my mail yesterday. I believe it is from Penguin as well. I have no idea what this one's about. I just opened it yesterday. Oh, we've got a little card from them, so maybe we'll read that. But this is A Stage Set for Villains by Shannon J. Span. I believe it is a YA book, but let's see what the little note says. So it says, Freya, it's time to take the stage. A Stage Set for Villains is one of my most anticipated 2026 releases, and at the top of my TBR. The vibes seem immaculate. Hoping you and I can enjoy it soon. Looking forward to seeing what you think of it. Okay. Usually that has a little blurb. I'm so super excited still, but I'll look at the little blurb. Okay, it may not have one. We can read the little back quotes though. The mortals made a treaty to keep the players south. And when the treaty ended, a wall to keep them out. Is this a poem? And if the wall should crumble, then marks will keep us safe. And if our marks should fail us, gods have mercy on our fate. There's a literal poem on the back. That is so much fun. It's giving If We Were Villains, honestly. So yeah, I have no idea what it is about. But it sounds interesting. Usually there's a blurb. Okay, that sounds really, really interesting. I really want to get that at some point. And then the other option, of course, was We Have No Gods. This is a really tough decision, to be honest. I'm like, do we just pick another prompt and try and get both? No, that's stupid. I am doing so much better at my TBRs. Like last month, I did so well. I can't wait to talk to you about it in my December wrap up. I did so well last month. So I'm hoping that I start to do well. And I feel like I did well because I had like less on my TBR. Okay, I feel like I want to go with this one, but then we also have a romantic. I want to go for this one. It releases sooner, so I'd like to get it read before it releases. I haven't read a romantasy like this in a long time, honestly. It's kind of reminding me of The Crimson Moth for some reason, like that kind of romantasy. I haven't read a romantasy like that for a long time, and I've been craving it recently because, I don't know, some romantasies I've been reading aren't hitting, and it's a specific type of romantasies I have been enjoying at the moment. Not necessarily the like diary-bound type, I've just realized, like I'm just using that as an example. I like a different kind of setting for a romantasy, and I feel like it's very hard to find unique kind of fantasy romances these days. So I feel like this will be a good option. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it's like at least fun. We have some fun. And I am planning some good reading vlogs that I think this could fit into. So yeah, excited about this one. That is the last book on our TBR. So let's go through it. Of course, the first book on the TBR is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. A very, very hefty book, and I am so scared to go into it, but a little less intimidated than I was going into Words of Radiance, because Way of Kings kind of scared me. I'm not going to lie. Words of Radiance, I feel like I was okay reading it. I could literally just enjoy it because I'd already had the foundations for the world set up. The margins on this book are so small. They are fitting a max amount of words onto every single page. I know that Brandon Sanderson has multiple times had to be the first one to print like one of these long books, and they've had to find different ways to format it. So yeah, those margins are like non-existent at this point. I'm nervous, but I'm very excited. Next, for a little bit of change of pace, a very much change of pace actually, Strange Pictures. I'm super curious to go into this one. Please let me know if you've read it and what you think of it. As I said, trying to expand my horizons a little bit. So 1 book to 2 books a month of something that I wouldn't usually pick up is probably a good way to start. Then of course we have Vow of Eternal Night. I get giddy thinking about this one. I am so excited to read this one. I cannot wait. I haven't read a vampire romance in the longest time, and I am obsessed with vampire romances, and it's really hard to find good ones. Jade City, of course, by Fonda Lee. I'm sure you're all very excited for me to read this. I am very, very excited myself to read this, just to see what the hype is about and the world and everything, because it sounds like a really intriguing world. And then, of course, we have No Gods by Liza Anderson. I love going into books blind as well. That's a really fun thing. But yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good TBR for the month. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get to these books. It is literally the last day of the year that I am filming this, so it is perfect timing because tomorrow I can dive into one of these books, or tonight if I have time. So yeah, I'm super excited about it and I can't wait to get reading it. Have a great year of reads in 2026. Because we are at the end of the year, let me know what your favorite book of 2025 was if you're still watching to the end, which amazing if you are. But yeah, I'd love to know your top read of the year. I think mine, I decided was Atmosphere. Just nothing could top it. Very, very closely followed by Sunrise of the Reaping, which I feel like were 2 very popular answers this year, but for good reason. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.